The following show features episodic breakdowns of Jackass, either performed by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. For your safety, avoid listening to this podcast at all times. Hi, I'm Mikey Aaronworth.
I'm Jason Wellwood.
And I'm Chris Aaronworth.
Welcome to Jackass.
Welcome to Jackast. It's the podcast where we're on a path of destruction through every single episode of Jackass.
We are just three lifelong fans of the show, reliving the belly laughs, bad ideas, and broken bones.
Curveball.
Curveball.
We're doing something a little bit different today, boys and girls and other. Is that how you say it
Thank
now?
you.
Other?
It's just,
Like, I mean, hey, I appreciate that you tried, because knowing Chris and, you know, some of the things you've said, you gave it a go.
Yeah.
Props to
I'm
Chris.
trying my best,
tried.
man. The last clip, you had to clip the ad of me saying, I wish Me Too didn't exist, which
that was,
I didn't mean it in
legitimately
that way,
think,
but I got a lot of hate. I'll tell you that much. So I'm trying to, really think forward and become a better person. You know, it's all about progress. It might be slowgress, but it's still progress.
That's well said, Chris. Well said.
Thank you.
But Chris is right. We've got a little bit of a curveball today. We did at the end of season 2 of Jackass, way back. You got to go back a few months to find it. But we did a draft based on all of the stunts that you find in season 2 of Jackass. Each of us draft our favorite stunts, our 5 favorite stunts, and then we put it to the listener to find out which of us would have had the best episode of Jackass. We're going to do the same now with season 3. We're going to pick who goes first. We're going to go around. We're each going to pick in total 5 stunts, and then we're going to write them all out, and then we'll put it out to the listener to see who has the best episode. It's probably going to be me again. And
No, it was me. I won. You know that, right?
That's not true.
Yes, it is. The votes came through. I won.
No.
And you also cheated, pretending to use a random generated number, so you got to pick first.
I didn't even hear anything about that. Right? Did he actually? Yeah. Did you actually do that, or what happened?
No, I didn't. I actually randomized it, and Chris has this tendency to believe that the world is against him. But let me tell you, Chris, it ain't. I'm not conspiring against you.
All right, whatever. Let's see. I bet you you're going to get fucking first pick.
Well,
Let's
now
go.
I want to do it and get first pick just to spite you. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to randomize it. I've got in randomizer.org. I've got our names. I'm going to, how about this? I'm going to do it 3 times. And the third one is what we're going to do. I'm going to read you the list as we go. Okay. So number 1 comes through Chris, Mikey, Jay. Number 2.
Fuck.
Okay, that one sucks. Throw that one.
Mikey. Number 2, Mikey, Chris, Jay. Number 3.
Wrong.
Mikey, Jay, Chris. There you go.
All right, that's a little better. That's a little better. I can go with that one. I think we can all be diplomatic here and settle on that.
I think that one's
That
fair.
is so fucked, man.
Okay.
Fuck you guys.
All right.
I cannot believe that. I won I actually was first, and you wanted to do 3 randomly.
You know what? I was honestly half expecting him to just put Mikey, and Mikey.
I wouldn't believe him. He's a fucking cheater. Look at that mustache.
Hey, baby. Come, I got a deal for you on a car if you want.
All right. Just pick one, Mikey. You're up first.
All right, so I'm going to start by introducing my my methodology, sort of my line of thinking for a draft like this. Okay, I think that the core of Jackass is made up of 5 different types of stunt. You've got the stunt that shows off the character of one of the members of Jackass. You've got a stunt that shows off the gang and what the gang looks like all together and how they act together. You've got a stunt that shows off a lot of pain. You got a dumb stunt, which is just something that's silly but also very funny. And then a stunt that shows that the gang is getting a little bit more famous and is a little bit more A-list. So I like to draft based on those categories. You guys can do whatever you want. But with the first pick, I mean, how can I not pick the most highly rated stunt in Jackass history, according to us? Ladies and gentlemen, from season 3, the finale, Dave England, the one, the only. You got a diaper, you got some pudding. Together, it's a poo diaper, baby.
Yeah, I love it. How dare you take that?
We all knew that was going to be first pick.
Of course we did. Of course we did.
Actually, I didn't. I thought that was a number 2.
Oh,
No pun
well
intended.
done.
Wow.
Well done.
Jay's on point today.
Mikey, can you, for those of us who'd like to relive the poo diaper, what was it about the poo diaper for you that made you pick it as your first?
So I think, first of all, I've always said this. I've said this from episode 1 of Jackass to Jackass podcast. You know it because you're listening to it. I've said that I think Dave England is the most underappreciated member of Jackass. I think he is potentially the funniest member of Jackass. Obviously, you get someone like Johnny. He's got the star power and charisma. But I love a stunt that shows off Dave England. I think when he's just left to his own devices with a simple premise, that gives us some of the best content that we can get in this TV show. Basically, he just puts some pudding in a diaper, stuffs it into a trash can. He comes on looking like he looks like the kind of guy who homeless people walk by and think, fuck, I don't want to be like that guy. Like, that's what he comes on the scene looking like. He asks people if they can give him something to eat. They say no. He reaches into the trash, rips open a diaper and starts eating it. His reaction is great. The reaction of the audience is priceless. They all, as you mentioned in the episode, Jay, seem to have a need to point out to him verbally, hey, dude, that's a diaper. That is verbatim what 2 people say to him at 2 different times, and it doesn't seem to help. It's just fucking hilarious. Yeah. And I think there's an added sense of sentimentality because it's the last episode of the TV series Jackass.
Yeah, you'd almost rather be the guy sucking unwashed dicks in a back alley than you would be diaper
some
guy.
people would prefer that over a lot of the things they do.
Yeah.
I also don't know why the dicks have to be unwashed, but
they don't have to be.
Do you ever read Novak's book?
No.
Man, when he was like a full-blown junkie, he was like his book opens up with a story about how he was so dirty and smelly and he like hasn't showered forever, and he was like trying to get his heroin for the day and he just couldn't get money, and then like he's like getting dope sick and everything, and like last minute some like old fucking guy comes in, like a married man comes in like a fucking Cadillac or some shit and tells him to get in and wants to suck his dick. Not Novak suck his dick. He wants to suck Novak's dick, and he's like, "Dude, I'm like the most filthy fucking human." And the guy fucking sucked his dick, and he got his money for heroin. That's how fucking low his life got.
Man, you're saying he got heroin and he got his dick sucked?
I guess when you put it that way, it doesn't sound so bad.
That sounds awesome, dude. I want to do heroin.
Oh wow! I mean.
Yeah, any rich guys listening to this podcast, Mikey Aaronworth.
100%.
He's ready to go.
So Jay, you got second pick, so it's time to see your strategy here.
I am so surprised this didn't get selected. And on my way through the spreadsheet to pick this one, I did see Knoxville's cousin farts in the living room, and I just had that visual bent over with the lapel mic taped to his ass. That's not what I'm picking, but I just wanted to. Why is that so funny? Why is farting into a microphone so goddamn funny?
I was almost love that one as much
laughing.
as you guys did.
Oh, dude, it's funny.
Oh, so good.
Farts on microphone are golden. But you know what's better? And I'm so surprised you guys didn't jump at this. It's Nutball, baby.
I knew it was. That was 1 and 2. That was 1 and 2 for sure. Yeah.
Knowing I had third pick, I knew I couldn't even look at those 2, so I had to think outside the box. But yeah,
I gotcha. Yeah, it was a close call. Like Poo Diaper, I was on the fence definitely, but Nutball's got to be my number 1 pick just because. I mean, we already talked about it. We had a listener write into us and tell us their story of how they used to play Nutball with their friends. Like, this thing touched people in many ways. And I gotta... Now I'm getting my stories mixed up here. Was the bone, when they're throwing a bone, was that in Jackass or was that from the story the listener said?
No, that was in Jackass.
That was in Jackass.
Yeah, that actually happened.
That's what they did at the end of Nutball.
Yeah. They're throwing a bone at each other. God, I just love everything about it, though. The Target undies, you're sitting in a circle with your friends just laughing around. Like, it's child's play. You're sitting on the carpet, like, legs splayed open and you're throwing shit at each other. But for some reason, you put it into a TV show and it's the funniest goddamn thing. And 100%. I think there's just a genuine enjoyment in the group that makes the segment so much better. It's nonstop laughs the whole way through, belly laughs, if you will. Nutball is definitely a contender. I got to say that.
I love it. And honestly, Jay, it was a really tough. I almost didn't want first pick because I would have been happy taking either or. And I didn't want to have to I didn't want to kill one of my darlings. It was a real Sophie's choice scenario. And Mikey's choice was very, very, very much more difficult. Yeah. I'd rather give up a child than choose between Nutball and Poo Diaper. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know what, there couldn't be any more of a more ideal day for Novak than if the rich man had pulled up, asked him if he could suck his dick, gave him some heroin, and then said, hey, you want to come over to my place after? Friends and I are getting together for a nice round of Nutball. You want to join in?
I mean, that feels like that's a day on the town. I mean, that sounds great. That's an ideal first date scenario as well. If you're looking to join that Tinder crew and you want to impress your loved one.
Hey, Mikey.
Yeah.
Do you like nachos? Do you like Nutball?
Yeah.
Well, then why don't you come over to my house? We'll put on the game. We'll have nachos and we'll play some Nutball.
Listen, Jay, say no more. I'm down. As long as you're sucking my dick, I'm good.
You think Homer Simpson got his dick sucked by Gerald Ford?
Right. That is a Simpsons reference. I forgot about that. And I would assume that, yes, behind the scenes, that is exactly what took place.
Oh, yeah.
Chris,
you guys ever gonna
cheese
stop
on there and
talking
get me going? What's that?
And let me pick my fucking first pick? I haven't even got to get to one pick yet, you fucking guys. We're like half an hour in. Jesus. See, it's tough because I know those two are off the board, and I know Mikey's strategy, and I have to appreciate his strategy, finding a nice balance. And last time I found like the perfect balance. I had a little bit of individual, I had a little bit of, togetherness and group stunts. I think because I do have the last pick, and there isn't as many super standout sketches in this season, like they're either really good or kind of mediocre.
Sure.
My strategy is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to actually have to try and win by using the most group oriented things possible. So my first pick, which is the third pick overall, is the Shaq music video.
Oh, you're going to do that one.
You get SteveO fucking doing that wicked stunt jumping through the thing. You got Wee Man in there. You got Shaq. You got Pawnee. You have everybody in it having a great time. So it's almost like 5 stunts in one, really, when it comes down to it.
I think that's a great pick, and I think that almost works both as fame, because I think fame is an important element of Jackass, and the gang. That's kind of like in fantasy hockey, you could play someone as left wing and center. Like that stunt can work as both fame and the gang.
Yeah. So I believe this is a snake style draft, so I do get my next pick, right?
You do get another pick, Chris. Snake style is the way to do it. Yeah.
So what I was thinking about was there's a big one that's an individual stunt, but there's also another great one that's a group stunt, and I'm going to go with the group thing like I was just talking about, and I'm going with the spermathon.
Fuck.
Hey, spermathon. Yeah, I wanted that one too, man. That's
that one just has everything you could need. Everybody shines in that one. Even
that was going to be my
shines
next
in that
pick
one,
for sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, Spermathon's great too, and I love the time capsule that sketch is, because you see things like porno mags, which like who has those anymore? And just the way
your uncle
like,
has those still.
Uncle
the
Dave.
whole like
besides
the whole like the way we fap,
Playboy?
guys. Yeah, what?
I do. My brother.
Let me tell that story real quick, and I'll get back to it.
My Uncle Dave lived in the basement of my grandma's place, and we'd always go to my grandma's place, and beside his toilet in his bathroom was just a stack of like porn magazines. And it was like, how fucking young were we, man? We're so little. And I just remember there was like a Christmas Playboy magazine, and it was just the greatest thing ever. They had all the Christmas outfits on. To this day, like red is my favorite color on girls, probably because of that experience.
Oh man,
I didn't even jerk. I didn't even know what jerking off was. I just looked at the pictures and it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
You appreciate the female form. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. Now listen, I gotta say, guys, the way we fap has changed. It has changed dramatically. When you go and watch this segment,
fapping.
What's fapping?
Like,
are you being
jerking off?
An asshole, or what's
literally
going on
never heard
right
that
now?
phrase in my
life. Are you
life.
serious?
No. What?
Fapping? I've heard like punching the clown, spanking the monkey.
Fapping.
Like FAP.
Yeah, dude. That's pretty much what everybody calls it now, though. Like maybe you were just on the cusp of that, when that came in. I don't know.
What does it mean? Why?
Dude, there's a whole community of dudes that like don't want to fap or don't want to jerk off, and they're called the no fap. Like that's the thing. That's a thing. Like that exists. Like I'm not even. You go look this shit up, man. It's
that's bizarre. I've heard of No Nut November, but of non-fappers. Okay. Anyways, sorry.
You haven't heard of Full of Fap February? That's when you have to masturbate 4 times a day.
You have to. Yeah.
What world? We're in a fucking different timeline. I swear.
Santa
to God,
Claus
man.
is watching you, Chris. He's watching you.
Okay, sorry, Jay. I think it's your pick.
No, I was just going to say, though, on that final note, like the way we jerk off has changed in modern times. So when you go and watch this segment, it is funny to just see culturally how the dudes react to it and like how it's just handled so much different. Like dudes are going in there and just using their imagination. Like who does that anymore?
That's crazy.
It's nuts.
All right, guys, listen, we just got done talking about the spermathon, which was one of our favorite stunts from this season. Obviously, spermathons don't even matter if you're not taking care of your junk down there, if you're not grooming it the way that you're supposed to, because if you don't, who cares what your sperm count is? No one's going to pay attention to you. You should know this. So now is as good a time as any to let you know that support for today's episode of Jackast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, listeners of Jackass. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code Jackast. Jackast at manscaped.com. Now, look, as a member of a Jackass podcast, it's pretty clear to me that the members of Jackass themselves don't take great care of their balls. In fact, sometimes they go out of their way to rain pain upon those regions. And that's what separates hosts of Jackass from members of Jackass, because Manscaped was so kind as to send each of the hosts for free this Lawnmower 4.0 as part of the Performance 4.0 package. This is their 4th generation of trimmer and features a cutting-edge ceramic blade, cutting edge, pun intended, to reduce grooming accidents like nicks, cuts, any ugly sort like that. Thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, the Lawnmower 4.0 is also waterproof and has a 400K LED light to light up those nether regions for the most precise shave you've ever had. You may find some stuff down there with this light that you've never seen before. Maybe something you'll never want to see again. Shave that off. You're not the only person that's going to be looking under there. If you can see it, they can see it. Trim it up. Take care of yourself with the Lawnmower 4.0. Also, this trimmer, as I mentioned, is waterproof, so you can say goodbye to the mess on your bathroom floor. It's time to take care of yourself, so go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Jackast, Jackast at manscaped.com. So you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code Jackast at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Anyway, my next one I think it's an obvious pick, and I think Mikey, you had your eye on it. So
fuck you so hard.
It's another Dave England special.
God damn it!
Another Dave England special,
dude. First pick is actually the worst in this.
Yeah, but I gotta take it because if I don't, I'm just doing a disservice here. I love a good hearty meal, just like the next guy, especially when I wake up in the morning. Nothing better than a puke omelet.
Yeah, the
that's
omelet,
the way I gotta
man.
go.
Again, it's crazy because Chris, you made a good point. Like this season is either the stunts are either unbelievable or kind of middle of the road, or sorry, like kind of bad. Like there really almost isn't a middle ground. And this season has some of the best of all time Jackass sketches. I think that the omelet is one of them. I think that the spermathon is one of them. Nutball is absolutely one of them. Poo diaper is one of them. And most of them are just being swept out from underneath me. I'm struggling right now. I got to be honest.
Hey, there's still some good stuff in there. Don't get too discouraged.
Yes.
Well, I think it's going to add to the uniqueness of this one because, you know, we're looking through the spreadsheets and it goes from like 9s all the way down to like 6s. Yes. So it's going to actually show our individual preferences a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like So it's like, even like the omelet, you know, like the Vomit. It's like, I had that at a 7. You guys went super high with that and it's probably deserved it, but I'm not about puke. So we're really going to get to see our individualistness to it.
Yeah. Can we talk about how great it is when he eats the whole stick of butter though? Cause
that's amazing, man. That's so good.
That's the best part for sure.
That was really good.
What does he say again when he eats? He's
like, not yet.
He has a brilliant line where he's like, a whole stick of butter. Yeah. And he takes a bite and he's like chewing it and he has to take a break and go, yeah, not yet. Cause it's just, he's having such a hard time stomaching it. And oh my God.
As if he's like about to take the meal out of the oven too early or something. Like it's just raw. Like he's that to me is, I think peak Dave England as well. Honestly, part of me almost likes it better than Poo Diaper just because of how much personality you get to see out of him. But man, it's a good one. I'm sad to see that one go.
Yeah, and another thing we got to mention about that before we move on is the smell factor, which you do not get watching it, but just seeing everybody, like, I believe Knoxville's there in a hazmat suit.
Yeah, literally in a hazmat suit, and he's like right angle turned away from what's going on, like not even looking at anything.
Oh, it's great. I can only imagine what that must have been like to experience in person. But Mikey, it has come back to you. So
it has come back to me. It is snake style, so I get 2 picks in a row here, and I have to get strategic here because we're running out of the gang sketches. Sketches that just show everyone kind of taking part, and I don't know that I'm willing to take my last shot at that just yet. However, one thing that I've noticed, is there a type of stunt that you guys think is lacking in this season? Like something that is in seasons 1 and 2, but not as much in season 3?
Ooh, I do, actually, now that you mentioned this. The first thing that came to mind was we didn't have as much brilliance in the narrated sketches, things that they tried to put a narrative, I can't fucking speak, into where Dave England is doing, for example, we always reference urban kayaking.
Yes.
That was gold, and it's all in his narration, where I felt like that didn't happen as much in season 3.
Definitely. I think it's that, which I said, I think a lot during our recordings, but it's also pain. Looking back, there aren't very many stunts that deal with pain and like people getting hurt. You don't have the shopping carts. You don't have like the there is some rolling down hills and stuff like that, but it feels like so much more of the pain was left for seasons 1 and 2. So I'm going to pick one that I think is the highest pain threshold that still has a little bit of gang to it because a lot of people take part in it. It includes the main portion of the stunt and then like a secondary portion of the stunt, and also kind of corners the market on Bam and his crew because they're kind of non-existent in some ways in this season. It's Ultimate Fighter, and I think this is kind of something that wasn't
that was
on
one of my next ones, man.
I was going to say, I wasn't sure if this was going to be on your radar. Jay, I know you weren't an enormous fan of this one. You gave it a pretty good review, but I know you had some reservations about it. But Ryan Dunn gets knocked the fuck out. Rick Cossack gets punched by a professional UFC fighter. So does Bam Margera. There's a lot of pain. It also includes the shit with the medicine ball, like the getting flung into people's faces. So there's this camaraderie there too. Ultimate Fighter is going to be my pick. And I think I can kind of use that as a swing between pain and the gang. And then the next one that I think is underrated in terms of its overall influence on the show, because this is Snake Draft. So this is going to be my my third pick technically. And by the way, I should have mentioned this earlier, but the Ultimate Fighter that came from season 3, episode 2, 8s across the board, a really high score. I'm going to give the nod for my third pick to Brad Pitt Abducted. Yeah. Because I think as an element of like showing the fame, you've got an A-list fucking celebrity that he honestly, I think, needs to be kind of credited with bringing fame to the Jackass crew in this kind of way. Because do you remember how you guys felt when you first saw this stunt? Like, never mind rewatching it. Do you remember the feeling you had when you first watched it?
Yeah, I remember just not believing it was him.
Right.
It was like, blew me away that he would actually. Brad Pitt is probably the biggest movie star maybe ever. Like, really, when you put it down to it. Like,
Tom Cruise. I'd say Tom Cruise.
It's between one of the two of them for sure.
It's definitely close. Tom Hanks, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, there's
either
something
way,
else.
it's a short list. It's a real fucking short list of people who can compete with him.
Yeah.
And I remember that this is the stunt because, like, as a kid growing up, you know, my parents and Chris's parents were brothers, if you didn't know this, would constantly like almost make fun of us or chastise us for liking Jackass. Like, how could you watch this? This is disgusting. It's gross. It's this, it's that. The Brad Pitt being abducted was one of the stunts I showed to my parents to be like, see, there's something to this. And they were impressed by it. And that kind of like legitimized my obsession with Jackass. So Brad Pitt kidnapped, come join the team. We got you on our team. And that's also from the season finale of Jackass season 3.
Nice. It's definitely a good pick. Both those were 100% on my radar.
Nice. So Jay, you've got your, what is it? Your third pick coming up now.
I certainly do. I talked about this one a lot when it came up, and then I think I even referenced it last episode just because it's always been on my mind since I've seen it. It's the Bloody Carpet. I like that one, man. Carpet.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one.
And Chris, I know you were absent for that episode. I believe
he was in the jungle.
Yes, but jungle? I did watch the episode from the jungle.
Yes,
So
with dial-up internet.
and I remember that sketch big time. That was a heavy one.
Dude, yeah, it's great. And I just love that they've got, like I've been said already, it's just a random dude off the street who just does this for a living. You know, not a big star, no name recognition, but he totally fucking blew me away. Like his performance was better than anyone else in the sketch. Although Johnny Knoxville rolling naked down the steps to no effect was nobody saw him do it. But
that was just for him.
It was great. But just the dude's reactions, the cleaner, like he's so dumbfounded the whole time. Like, should I be here? Do I want the paycheck this badly? Some of the things he does are questionable, and it's really just a showing of human, I guess, psychology and human behavior at play in an environment that to him is 100% real and happening. Yeah. And I found that entirely just fascinating. And I would love to see more shit like this, because sometimes they try it and people kind of, you know, they're wise that, you know, this is just someone's putting me on here. But he didn't, you know, the whole way through, from the moment he stepped in there and saw the blood to the moment he's leaving and Knoxville's in the balcony half naked yelling at him, he thought this was a real thing. So I wonder if the dude ever saw it, you know?
He must have eventually. I mean, eventually they have to tell him what it is, because he showed his face, right? Like, they have to get clearance for that. But I also, you know, we talk all the time about the way that pranks have changed and how this is just like a very good prank. There really are no victims. It's not like slapping someone in the face and then saying it's a prank and like, don't get mad, it's a prank, it's a prank. Very witty, very clever. No one's at harm or any immediate danger. I also like the idea that you know, you see something like the bloody windshield or the body in the trunk or something, like they've tried things like this before. What I like about this one is that it's one person. And like you mentioned, Jay, this guy, this random civilian off the street, carries so much of the weight. You can imagine they would have done this with like 4 or 5 different carpet cleaning companies and picked the best one. And if this one weren't so good, they probably would have done interstitials like they did with the bloody windshield and been like, okay, here's attempt number 1, here's attempt number 2, here's attempt number 3. But this one seemed so good on its own that it's like, okay, the entire stunt is this one guy. Like, how do we cut away from him?
Yeah, totally agree.
Chris, some stiff competition there. You've got your third and fourth picks coming up. Where are you going with this?
I know for sure what my my third pick is. How it's still available so far to me actually blows me away, because it was actually going to be potentially my second pick.
I know what you're going to do with this one. I know where you're going with it.
Out of curiosity, what are you thinking?
Well, now I don't want to say it in case it isn't
enough.
it, but I will honestly tell you if this is what I was thinking or not.
So I mean, you need to have the star of Jackass in your lineup somehow.
Yeah.
And the bedwetter was fucking incredible to me. I absolutely fucking love that. Like, it was just so Knoxville. Like, I still think about it all the time. Like, did they pay the guy for the mattress after, or did they just
Of course they
it?
did. Of course they did.
Or maybe they didn't. The guy was so nice, right? Like, it's like maybe he just felt bad for him because he had friggin' what's that nose thing called again?
He's got a deviated septum.
Deviated septum. Maybe he had a dick deviated septum. I don't know. There's something about that.
A deviated urethra, yeah.
And you need fucking Knoxville in your lineup, and this was the best Knoxville thing, in my opinion, of the season. So that's definitely what my third pick is. And
is that what Hank Hill had?
What's that?
Hank Hill had that? No, he had a narrow urethra. Sorry.
You know what? I need to go back and watch King of the Hill, because the more I hear about it, the more I'm like, that seems right up my alley.
It's so good, Mikey. I started watching it again. It's fucking hilarious.
God damn it, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby.
Go.
It's annoying because I had my... that's what it was. Okay. So I couldn't remember which one I wanted to pick, but I know exactly what it is now. You guys know SteveO's obviously my favorite, and there wasn't much good SteveO quality, but the fucking human car wash
has
to be on my list for sure.
That's a great pick.
It just answered so many questions. Like, there are so many unknowns before that happened. Like, is that possible? Is he going to die? Is it hot? Is it cold? Like, there's just so many unknowns about that were answered, and just that famous leopard balkini is just so prominent in it. So that's definitely my fourth pick.
I had that one on my radar 100%. I think that was because SteveO has a couple showings in this season that are bad. Like he's pissed off. He's too cool for school. And then as of the car wash, he starts to get way better because after the car wash, that's when you got cricket helmet. That's when you got the Shaq thing. That like every time he comes back onto the screen after the car wash, it's like he washed his bad attitude off at that point in the season. Right?
Thanks for helping my pick, man. That's a really good comment. I'm so happy because I know my fifth pick none of you guys are going to take anyway, so I'm like so chill about the rest of this episode. I can just sit back and relax.
So Jay, what's your, speaking of well, this is your fourth pick, right? What's your fourth pick going to be?
Number 4. All right, well, listen up, prostitutes. It's the red light district. Nice. Of course it is. It's red light district. I know you guys weren't super crazy about this one, and I loved it. And I will say once again, the reason why is having Knoxville, and I don't even remember who was there with them, honestly. It was Knoxville and someone else on megaphones in those fucking paddle boats.
It was Knoxville and Pontius.
They hired prostitutes to go and have a paddle boat race. No sexual favors exchanged. No sexual favors at all. Just paddle boating.
Well, that's spoken like someone who's never come on a paddle board in the Amsterdam Canal before, my friend.
On a paddle board or a paddle boat?
Either. I'll do it on either one.
Because somehow both are equally impressive. I know.
Keeping your balance on a paddle board, that'd be tough.
You remember when we were so stoned there, Mikey? Yeah. I almost walked into the canal thinking it was the road.
Yes.
I was so close to just walking right into the canal. It looked like the road. We got so fucking high. When you're there, everybody mixes tobacco. Like you see these massive spliffs that everybody has, but it's like 90% tobacco, 10% weed. We fucking just rolled up. And I'm not a big weed smoker, to be honest. And we were so stoned, and I was just walking, and I almost fucking just went right into the canal.
It would have been so funny. It would have been so funny.
It would have been worth it, honestly, for the story.
100%.
I hope you can swim.
I can. I'm a very strong swimmer.
Good. And I mean, I would assume those canals only have a small margin of fecal matter.
Yeah, it's wastewater, 90% wastewater 90%? For sure.
Okay. All right, fair enough. But yeah, just, shouting at the back of these boats with megaphones with prostitutes piloting them was just, I don't know, just some of that visual is just utterly ridiculous and obnoxious and funny. So,
Jay, I thinking back, I wish I rated that higher because I do have a far more appreciation for that stunt than what my record when I was looking at it. I was actually thinking about picking that one as well.
If you were just walking by and you saw that, you'd be like, 100%. What the fuck are these guys doing? Like it would totally capture you.
And just the question, like, do you honestly deep down think those prostitutes would have rather just fucked than do that? 100%. And just the concept of that alone just absolutely kills me. They're like, oh, this is going to be an easy day. Then they're like, no, fuck, I wish I just sucked fucking Pontius's dick. I would have done that for free. Now I'm fucking paddling. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
That's it. That's a good pick, though. I was kind of on the other side of it. I didn't love that sketch that much. I don't know why. It just didn't land for me. I like the concept of it, but in execution, it just didn't do it for me. But I think the viewer will appreciate it, and that's kind of who we're pandering towards at the end of the day. But that brings me to my fifth and sixth picks.
We're doing six?
Oh, sorry. So it's just my fifth pick. I just have one more pick left.
Yeah.
Wait,
you did Poo Diaper, Ultimate Fighter, Brad Pitt. Did I miss one?
Oh, no, right. Because sorry. It's my fourth and fifth pick because I only had one pick to start. My bad. So I've got my fourth and fifth pick coming up. This one. So Chris, this is the one I thought you were going for over Johnny Knoxville's Bedwetter, which I think was a little bit too short. Didn't get the reaction I wanted to get. It was a good one. Don't get me wrong. Good concept as well. But I think it was topped by Dave England's hardware store dump. I think that was a better one. Mine is something that brought me back to season 1 of Jackass, to the bare bones nature of it. It is our star, Johnny Knoxville. And I agree, we always need a stunt that focuses on Johnny Knoxville in every season. It's the belt sander skates. The whole process of that one, the build up from the ground up, I had such a fun time with it. And we all did. I don't know if you guys forget, but it was like, but as we started talking about it, we were building ourselves up about it.
But Mikey, what we liked about it was how bad it was. Like it wasn't good, but it was good because it was bad. So to say that's better than the fucking bedwetting is just pure rubbish.
Mikey, he's doing it again. He's doing it again.
He's doing it again.
What am I doing?
You're using your weird ass fucking logic and blaming us for it.
Yeah, well, it's not weird. We'll see what the viewers think.
I loved Belt Sander skates, Chris, but actually kind of for that exact reason, of it being very lo-fi and still kind of working as a result. Like if Belt Sander skates came out in season 1, it would have been the bread suit. But instead, Johnny Knoxville, this shows the beginning and the end of how far Johnny Knoxville has come as a star, as a superstar in this realm. So I like Belt Sander skates. I'll give you bedwetter. I'm always going to appreciate it. But Chris, if you don't shut your fucking mouth, I'm going to pick the stunt that you're so confident no one's going to take it.
I'm quiet.
How would you feel if I took it right now? I know which one you're thinking about.
I hope you don't.
I bet you I do. It would be a pretty wild pick if I made it. Don't you agree?
You're such a cunt. Please, Chris, I have such a good segue and everything planned. Just please just give me this. Please. Don't do it out of spite, honestly. Because I know you don't want it. Just please. I'm
so tempted to do this.
Don't.
I'll wait.
I'm so tempted to do this.
Oh, I'll fucking just don't. Because you know you don't want it on your list. I have this in my head for so long.
Just say it, Mikey. You know you want to say it. But he's got a good segue. Okay, how about this, Chris? You segue it, and then Mikey will announce.
No, I'm just gonna hope. I'm gonna hope he's gonna be competitive and try and win.
Huh? He's not gonna do that, I don't think.
Well, listen.
Jesus Christ.
Well, listen. I am competitive, right? And sometimes competition means taking your opponents out at the knees.
Right.
And in order to do that, I've got to make a pick. Ladies and gentlemen, Manny, the washboard abs. It's the Hammerhead Shark sketch. Dude. It's the introduction to the Wild Boys. And it's fucking railroading Chris. So he can't make the pick that he wanted to make. Because fuck you. Mine. Hey, listen.
I was going to ride away to victory like Manny with the Hammerhead Sharks. I had my fucking line ready to go. I can't believe you even thought. I shouldn't have fucking said anything, man. You never would have fucking done that otherwise. Fuck you. Now I gotta go back to the spreadsheet.
Oh man,
you got time. You got time. Mikey, tell us a bit about it.
The Hammerhead
At least
Shark,
do it justice. You know?
Look, it was probably the best stunt in Jackass's history. It's a clear introduction. It's the origin story to the Wild Boys, if I've ever seen it. You got SteveO and Chris Pontius just having a very heartfelt moment, as they always do.
You guys rated it a 4 and a 5, you fucks. I rated it an 8. I hate
why are you
so
mad
much.
at me? I didn't fucking pick it.
Yeah, fuck you, Jay. You gave it a 4 and a 5, you idiot. This is a great stunt.
God. Yeah. All right.
And you got Manny kind of showing his chops at the end, basically being the guy that he always is. He's in great shape. He's got
Put on
those
your Belt Sander
abs.
skates and get the fuck out of here. Scoot your way on out of here.
I will scoot my way out, and then
just make sure you got a road made of half-inch drywall to get you wherever the fuck you need to go.
Quarter-inch drywall.
Quarter-inch. Whatever,
the contractor will have your head for saying that. So Hammerhead Shark is probably the best sketch. And look, to be fair, every Jackass season needs a good animal stunt, and this is the animal stunt for me.
You don't believe that. You don't even.
I do now. Doesn't matter what I believe. It's what the audience wants.
Such a dick.
I don't know if that's a good way to position yourself or not, but I'll take it. Yeah, Chris, we'll give you another couple minutes. I guess I'll give my final one here for the day. It's been tough. I think you guys were onto something when you said there was a lot of standouts, and then a lot of them were kind of like on the same footing, and I'm almost having trouble just picking a final one.
Yep.
Because of that. I was actually thinking of doing the skate wheel, but I'm not going to go that direction. Skate wheel's cool. I want to give it an honorable mention.
That's a very cool one.
The concept is awesome. I mean, it's just, let's make a giant wheel out of skateboards and get in there and see what we can do. But you know what, boys? I think for this one, for my final one, I got to go with something I mentioned in passing earlier. No pun intended, but it's the Knoxville's cousin farts in the living room.
I had a feeling you were going there.
I'm just going to commit to it because I don't know what's funnier out of the rest of these stunts than having a lapel mic right up against your anus. It's art, and the fact that he shit himself and then his mom came to clean it up is
not only that he shit himself. There is something very funny and ironic about the fact that, listen, he may be the only human in the world who's ever shit his pants while his pants were off. How do you do that? But he did it. He somehow did it. He shit his
So
pants
you
while his
shit
pants
with your
were-
pants on, like that. You go to the toilet, you just sit down on the toilet bowl. You don't unbuckle.
No, he managed
pull
to
down to the
shit in
ankles.
his pants while his pants were off. That's what's
Oh, okay.
amazing about it.
Sorry,
Who's
I
ever done that
misconstrued
before?
What you said? Yeah, okay, I got you. Unless you just specifically wear assless chaps everywhere for that reason, then you don't have to take your pants off.
You're describing
Shave a
some of
couple
my
minutes
favorite
off.
Saturday nights, Jay.
You're a busy guy, I know.
You know what? As much as that wasn't for me, that stunt wasn't for me. Which look, I find farts very funny, and I'll be real. I'll get real for a second to our listener, to our fans, to my family out there listening to me, who
Lay it out
knows
there.
how much I can laugh at farts. I appreciate a great fart joke, but there was something about this one that was almost just too on the nose. I don't know. It didn't do it for me. I know you guys loved it, but this was not my stunt. I will happily let you take this one. Chris, you want to take us in for your last two picks?
I only have one pick left,
One pick.
Right. Sorry.
and I just am defeated right now. I really
Oh, dude,
am defeated. I can't believe you did
feel
that to
you.
me.
I feel for you, Chris.
It's like,
Here's my suggestion. If
Yeah.
you want to go out with a real fuck you, you could just pick the crawfish diaper. That's all I'm saying.
you know what? I was actually thinking about that just to throw a fucking wench into things, but I do have
Wait,
one.
you know what? Before you say it, how about this?
Yeah.
Doesn't happen very often. But Chris, I'm going to propose a trade.
You can't trade. What is this?
Oh, we can trade.
Your
Hey,
draft
listen,
has been drafted.
This is draft day, and I'm Kevin Costner, motherfucker.
That's a great movie, by the way.
It's a great movie.
Surprisingly, it's really good. I might watch it
So,
right
Chris,
after this.
I will trade you. I will give you Hammerhead Shark in exchange for your pick and Shaq.
No. You know what?
Okay.
I'm standing firm. I know that was a personal pick. So you kind of fucked yourself, to be completely honest, because a lot of people aren't going to think the same way as I did.
I think a lot of people do. A lot of people were reaching out to us on Instagram telling
And
us
you
how
know
much
what?
they love that
Just
stunt.
as a fuck you, I'm picking one that you actually rated really low to show how much better my opinion is than yours. I'm taking the fucking skunk car.
Well,
come on.
Chris, I
Skunk
loved
car.
the skunk car.
No, you didn't.
I rated that very high.
No, you didn't.
Jay rated it low.
Oh.
I did not like the skunk car. I thought that was a waste
No.
of time.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong side. Anyways, yeah. So the skunk car is definitely something that I love because the idea of a fucking skunk.
You're just all right.
Just like everyone hates skunks. Like they smell, they're sketchy. You got to worry about your dog getting attacked by them or sprayed by them. They're just like, and they're all over the place. Like no matter what city you're in, you always find a skunk. And the idea of just a dead skunk stinking up and just being pushed into people with a remote control car absolutely fucking kills me.
I
So-
do think that
All right.
that stunt has one of the funniest moments of the season, which is the guy. So the skunk is on the car and it's kind of circling around a family of people, and one guy stares that fucking skunk down as though and like points at it like, "Don't you dare!" Like he has to know someone's controlling that car.
Yeah.
But his beef is not with that person; it's with the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny. So yeah, that's my
Chris,
final
I'm
pick.
happy. I'm happy if you're happy, buddy.
Yeah.
I may not have liked it, but man, seeing the way you describe it, I could almost knock my score up a couple points. I'm not going to do that, but hypothetically speaking, yeah, guys, I think that's a solid 5 for each of us.
That's a
What do
solid
you
5.
say we go over and we'll each announce our 5s, so the
All right, so-
listener can decide who's got the best bunch.
Why don't we start, Chris? You lead us off because you've got the you had the last pick. Why don't you lead us off with the with your 5?
My brain doesn't remember things. Can you just read them for me?
My brain doesn't remember things. Okay,
I know
you
I had
had
Shaq for sure.
you
then
had
yeah, just go for
Shaq.
it.
You had spermathon. You had the car wash. You had the bedwetter, and you had the skunk car.
Man, that's going to be a hard team to beat. You got to admit, that's a fucking good ass fucking squad.
I love how impressed you are with yourself. Like, Chris from 30 minutes ago, that guy knew what the fuck was
That
going
guy knew
on.
what the fuck was
Yeah.
up.
That's
I
great.
got to be
Man,
honest, Chris. No, you do have a very good one.
Good lineup.
I honestly, we'll get back to it when I read mine. I'm not 100% satisfied with mine.
Yeah,
I think
because you sabotaged yourself. You wasted a pick, and now it's coming back to haunt you.
Well,
You thought I'd
listen,
do the
that's
trade.
it,
I'm not
baby.
trading the Shaq stunt, the best stunt for that.
I didn't
pick.
actually think you were going to do the trade. I just wanted to fuck you over a little bit because I think that's hilarious. Jay, why don't you read off your picks?
For sure. So at the top, I had Nutball, and then the Vomit Omelette, Bloody Carpet, Red Light District, and Knoxville's Cousin Farts. That was my picks.
That's a good one too.
So here's my thing. Okay, so I'll read off mine and then I'll kind of get into my thoughts. I had, with my first pick, I had the poo diaper, the greatest stunt in Jackass history, according to our ratings and reviews. I had the
strangely enough, yeah,
Brad Pitt kidnapped. I had the Ultimate Fighter, Hammerhead Shark, and the Belt Sander skates. I think, honestly, I do kind of feel like Nutball. If I managed to get Nutball too, even though there was no way I was going to get that with the first pick, I would have been very happy with mine. It feels like I had a lot that kind of I feel like I have a lot of good filler stunts without having like, I don't know, just some of that pizzazz all the way through. Well, how do you guys feel about your teams?
I think there's one thing that I'm lacking, and I was really trying to do it, but you guys didn't really give me any options over there because you guys were picking them up. This was definitely the season of Dave England, and I don't really have a standalone Dave England spot, so
it's a big deal.
That might hurt me a little bit. But that being said, I got all the boys together. I got a lot of the group stuff. I definitely think I'm taking this home again. 2-time champion.
Jay, what do you feel about yours?
Oh, I'm happy, guys. I think number 2 was the best spot to be in. And that's obviously I'm biased because they're my picks. So you can't really trust what I'm telling you. But listener, know this. When you've got Nutball and the Vomit Omelette on the top 2, you know that's like a prime starting lineup right there. And then honestly, the rest of them are all ones that I really enjoyed. I could have give or take the last one, Cousin Farting, but even so, like 4 out of 5 ain't bad. I'm happy with what I got. And
I do have to say,
I don't think I'd change a thing.
Of all of our picks, I think Nutball and the Omelette together, that's like the Pippin and Jordan. Like that is a solid tandem. I don't think either of us have a 1-2 quite like that. And I know Shaq was good and Spermathon was good, Chris, but Nutball and the Omelette, those are two that I think everyone remembers.
You don't need a 2. You need a full starting 5, man. You can't just look at it like that, like Jordan and Pippin. But there was a lot of other, you had Tony Kukoc, you had a few other guys. It's the depth that wins you these things. Not
you remember one of their other names?
What are you talking about?
It's about the starting 2, baby. That's what it's about. That's all you need. I'm kidding. No, I think the starting 1 in the poo diaper has, like, you talk about a supporting cast. I think in terms of like overall quality of all the other picks, that's where an argument for mine might actually be made. There isn't a 1-2 punch, but you got the poo diaper as like literally like a tent pole, like the highest of the high in this season. And then a lot of other really good ones that show a lot of character. I think maybe the most well-balanced of the picks would be mine. Does it have the star power? I don't, that's what remains to be seen.
Yeah. I mean,
there's only one way to settle
it's
this.
up to the listener now.
That's exactly
it. It's,
we
got to let it go now.
Exactly. We could talk as much and, we're all going to be biased about ours, but like I said, pretty sure. And also listeners, when you're thinking about this, you really got to take into the fact that I'm recording this. I'm fighting off this disease right now. It's been really tough on me. And,
don't play this sad sap card.
I almost didn't even record today, guys. I swear to God, because my face hurts so much. So, for me to really stick it out
Jay and I were fucking pumped.
And do this. I just keep that in mind when you're making your picks. I'm really fighting for you guys,
keep in mind, Chris is the only guy who would be placed lower on the totem pole than Dave England in the poo diaper sketch.
I don't know what that
Can
means.
I ask you guys?
It's in the realm of hurt bags. You look worse than he does somehow.
Yeah.
I got to ask you guys real quick because earlier in the show we mentioned, not that long ago, Mikey, you had mentioned, I think that was our lowest or highest rated stunt of all time, which was the poo diaper. And I said, oh, really? Is that actually possible? It turns out it is. And keep in mind, this is all group consensus. And because opinions vary, it makes sense that, we just happen to align on that one. But it got me thinking, so far, what is our least favorite stunt, our lowest rated? And I've looked at the majority of the list here, and I'm seeing Extreme Squared from season 2, episode 8 pop up. Does anybody remember what that was?
Because Extreme Squared was like skateboarding or rollerblading on a skateboard kind of thing.
Okay. Because, you gave it a 1.5, Chris a 1, and I gave it a 2, and I can't seem to find anything that would indicate we're much lower than that, at least not yet. So, that feels a little anticlimactic, to be honest with you. I thought there would be one that's like a clear stinker. Maybe that's still out there somewhere in the Jackass canon,
that is pretty low though when you think about it, right? Like that's nothing to sniff at how low that is.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm surprised that like the squid suit got rated higher than that one.
You know what I think it is? We always have these issues where it's like in the beginning, you sort of worry about going too high or too low. You know what I mean? And I think we kind of had that structure where we're like, well, I don't know. Maybe we want to leave some space in case there is a real stinker. We don't want to pretend like we hate the show. Like in the first few episodes, there were some bad stunts. And in spite of that, we kind of made sure that we rated everything decent, like not terrible.
Yeah.
Because if we did, then people are going to be like, oh, these guys hate Jackass.
Yeah,
like why are we listening to them?
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah, clearly we hated enough to start a podcast about it.
Yeah. Well, hey, speaking of podcasts, I mean, I don't want to push people to a different podcast, but considering you guys made it this far, if you are hearing this, you definitely are good listeners. There was a great episode of SteveO's podcast with Poopies on there. And he talks about how he got his name. He talks about the shark attack and how his hand's still fucked up. He talks about his whole origin story, and it's a good listen. So, we're all Jackass fans here. We want to consume as much Jackass stuff as possible. You got to go give that episode a listen because
when did that come out?
I think last week. Yeah, so it's one of the newest ones, and it's just hearing his story, man. And he's just he's so dumb, and he's so fun to listen to. He's just so he's so perfect for Jackass. It's a shame that he just got into it now. Do you know what I mean? Like if we would have had him in all these other movies and stuff like that, it just. He's something else, man. So I just wanted to give the credit where credit was due, and that was one of my favorite Wild Ride episodes I've ever heard. So,
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, Jay, as Chris was talking, I was doing some active listening, but I was also sorting our spreadsheet to see what the lowest would be, and it is grass skiing. Grass skiing is the lowest.
Really?
Assuming
Okay.
Chris, I think Chris gave it a 1 for some reason. Here's for our listener. Chris just doesn't know where the spreadsheet is where we track all of our scores, and he refuses to learn it. So we have to kind of track it as he's going.
He just found out today.
He just found out today, even though we've told him multiple times. Assuming Chris gave it around a 1, grass skiing got a 0.5 from me, a 1 from Chris, and a 2 from Jay for a total of 3.5 as the stinkiest stinker of all that stunk. But season 3, episode 3 also had glue test, which was a total of a 4.5. So not much better.
Well, yeah, not a good day for the Elmer's Glue Company on that one. But, boys, it's been fun. It's been another draft. Remember to check in with us at Jackast Pod on Instagram and Twitter where, hey, send us your favorites. Let us know on those platforms which of the 3 picks that you like most so that we can tally up those votes. And I don't know, maybe just for our own egos, we can find out who did the best, if not for anything else. And yeah, I mean, thank you for joining in and sticking with us through this journey. I can't believe we've done 3 seasons of this TV show and 2 movies already. It still blows my mind when I think back to it. But yeah, lots more Jackass stuff to come. We're not putting the brakes on yet. So stick with us. And thank you for all of your support so far. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well said, Jay, and thanks everyone for listening. You know what? We're still a little bit undecided on what's coming up next week. Very soon, though, we're going to start getting into Jackass Forever because it's now on video on demand. So we're going to do a deep dive into that. We may take a little bit of a detour and go into the realm of Tom Green. Chris may be leaving us for a little bit again in the next couple of weeks. So if there's an episode here and there, Jay and I, as huge Tom Green fans, will do it. But let us know on Instagram and Twitter at JackastPod where you'd like to see us go from here.
Yeah, always open to suggestions, 100%. And just for reference too, Mikey, you mentioned we're going to look at a deeper dive into Jackass Forever. That will be more in line with our traditional episodes of, Jackass 1 and Jackass Part 2, those movies where we broke it into segments, multiple part episodes, deeper analysis of the segments, because much of what we did when we saw the movie in theaters initially was just kind of our initial impressions. We want to give you the real deal this time. So that will be coming down the pipe.
Have any of you guys watched it since? I've watched it 2 times. But they they cut out some shit. I'm
what?
Yeah,
really?
Man. The
on the on demand?
Well, where I was watching it, I didn't see the treadmill. The treadmill wasn't on there, unless I just randomly missed it. But coincidentally, that's the only one Bam was in. That's the one with
Bam.
So I'm like 95% sure, at least the version that I saw didn't have that, because I was really looking forward to seeing that, because everybody reached out to us and told us Bam was in it, and it wasn't on that one. So hopefully they didn't actually remove it. I just had a bad copy. Yeah, that's the only one he was in that they didn't cut out. I didn't even
notice when I watched the movie that he was in there. You're talking about the marching band,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Our listeners messaged us and said, yeah, no, he was actually in that. So I was really looking forward to seeing it, but yeah, it wasn't on the version I saw. That's for sure.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until next week, I don't know what's coming down the pipe, but keep your eyes peeled on the feed, and you just might get a nice little surprise yourself. Thanks again for joining us. Until then, bye. I'm Jason Wellwood.
Bye. I'm Chris Aaronworth.
Bye. I'm Mikey Aaronworth, the winner of this week's draft.
No, shut
and
the
this
fuck up.
has been Jackast.
Incorrect. Wrong. All lies.
Furnished by Sad Styles Productions.
Get into it.